everybody, this is Erin from EHR Books, and I would like to share the character subclasses of my new 5e gaming guide, Realms of the Ravensdaughter. Ta-dum, ta-dum! This is the online flipbook, which you can find on my website, ehrbooks.com. You can prowl through the pages at your leisure and see what neat things lie in store. Okay, so some of you know me from my novellas. I have 6 novellas called Tales of the Ravensdaughter, and they all deal with my girl who is a realm walker. She can walk between the world above and the world below. So you have 2 basic areas in my world and in my gaming guide, the living and the world of spirit. So let's dive on in. All right, so this is my online flipbook. Welcome to Realms of the Ravensdaughter. This is a 280-page 5e guide. So I promise there's a lot to uncover, but we're just going to deal with the character subclasses for the purpose of this video. These are the gods above, and most importantly are Sukar, father god of fire, Imari, mother goddess of water, wind. There's also Belmain, my goddess of passion and chaos. There's Ilyana, my goddess of sleep and dreams. And this is Itazi, the Red Bull god of justice. My god of storms, god of thunder, and goddess of the forest, you don't meet really in the gaming guide. Now, the 2 gods below, you meet a lot. We've got the King of Shadows and his wife, the Raven Queen of the Realm. And they influence a lot of the subclasses. Character classes, here we go. All right, so for the barbarians, if you are based in Southern California or perhaps Las Vegas, you may have seen the Wild Guild. They spell it properly, W-I-L-D. I spell it W-Y-L-D. They paint themselves ash and black, and they entertain at Renaissance festivals. And they are amazing entertainers and also really great, amazing people. So I met with them, and they graciously allowed me to use their clans for the inspiration for my barbarians, the Path of the Wild. Clan Chaos does psychic damage. Clan Decay does necrotic damage. Clan Destruction does force damage, which you might not expect from a barbarian. And then Clan Ruin does acid damage, including one like this one here, Bilious Darts. They can create mid-air darts and spit their stomach acid onto them and then launch those bilious darts at their enemies. It's just so disgusting. Anyway, the Wild Collective, you can look them up online, and Queenie is their leader. So moving on, got my bards. The College of Riddles and Rhymes, a really great feature here is Filthy Limerick, 14th level feature. You recite a limerick filled with aspersions about your enemy's mothers. And if they fail a charisma saving throw, they take 48 fire damage, because that was a really sick burn. The College of Water's Whispers, when you want something a little bit more soothing, is dedicated to, again, Imari, my mother goddess of water, wind. College of the Trickster, and is dedicated to my demi-deity. His name is Iason. His picture wasn't in the front, but he is my trickster god. And then Odwin's Realm College of Bardic Knowledge. Now, in my books, Odwin is a main sub-character. He's actually gender fluid, so I can refer to Odwin as a they if I want to. It would be completely appropriate. Sometimes Odwin will present as a teen male, sometimes as a lovely maiden, and Odwin will change genders in the middle of sentences just to mess with you. So I wanted to do something a little different here, and I created the Eternal Poem, which continues features through 18th and 20th levels with additional verses for the Eternal Poem. That may be stretching some of the game mechanics. I don't think it breaks the game, but I'd love to hear feedback if you try the Eternal Poem. Clerics. The domain of balance is for the Raven Queen of the Realm. It's the balance between the living and the spirit. And the Raven Queen is all about everything being in its place, sorted out, methodical. Her husband, the king, is not. He's quite impetuous, but she is all about balance. So we also have the domain of creation, which is for Sukar, my father god of fire. Now, I know that there's a domain of the sun, and this is a little bit similar, but this is a little bit more flame and a little less radiance. So have fun setting people on fire, clerics. You deserve it. The domain of justice. This is dedicated to my red bull god, Itazi, who is actually bound in chains because of his backstory. He's bound to the mother goddess Imari and has now become her enforcer. So he will roam through the night looking for injustice and miscreants, and his clerics definitely do the same. Druids, back to the border or the balance point between living and spirit, and so the circle of the border also has a dedication to the Raven Queen. But one thing I really wanted to do here is the wild shape. I just don't like that you have to wait to 8th level to get a flighted wild shape, so I created one at 6th. You get to turn into a raven with a 10-foot wingspan. Then at 8th it goes to 15-foot, 10th is 20-foot wingspan, and 14th is 25-foot wingspan. You could probably carry your allies around with you on your back when you have a wingspan that big. Circle of Shrooms. Let's have some fun here. Yes, I know that there's a circle of fungi, but it just didn't go far enough. We can do a little bit better. So, Father Shroom is another of my demi-deities, and again, he's not in the first part of the book either, but that's fine. He's definitely here. He's created different spells. These are actually spells that can only be used by a circle of Shroom druids. Happy Caps. Happy Caps take the place of good berries, and you only need one to sustain you. And there are some guardrails, because if you start eating more than one, you start tripping balls, and if you eat like 5 or 6, you're making death saves. So let's be really careful there, shall we? I love the planar portobello. One side of the mushroom will put you into a wonderful state where you can cast plane shift. The other side will ground you out of that high, but only the druid knows which is which. And so don't get into the druid's stash, because you could have a little bit of a problem there. Circle of Storms is kind of what you would expect. We've got wind, we've got zap 'em with lightning lash, zoom, zap, and there's also a lightning portal here. Moving on to fighters. I wanted to create a fighter that was also a magic caster. I don't think that there's enough of them in D&D, and I really like magical fighters. This is the Soul Warrior, who is a half caster. And there's a whole new list of spells. Now, I'm not going to go into all the spells right now. That's another video. But there's a lot that the Soul Warrior can do. Comrades in Arms is a good one. You can call up fighters from the world below. Now, mind you, the world below, in my world, the Ether Realm, is not an icky, nasty place. There are fields like the Elysium Fields where heroes live. And a soul fighter can call up those heroes and, hey, game on, let's fight. Lightning Lords is kind of what you would expect. Lots of chained lightning and shocking sphere, but it's a fighter class. And I haven't really seen lightning in a fighter class. Now, hard hammers. Here we go. Okay, there are no Vikings in my world because it's not Earth. It's the common lands of Mortalia. But these guys may as well be Vikings. And the neat thing is, they don't have command dice, they have demolition dice. Ha ha! So, these are a number of the techniques that they can use as command, instead of command techniques, you have demolition techniques. The Forest Guardian I made to go along with one of the races in my book. Again, we'll do races in another video, but they are the Servines, and they're half deer, half humans, and they're really, really cool. But I really wanted a fighter that was kind of like a ranger, but still has a fighter vibe. Monks. The Way of the Mountain. There are two stances in the Way of the Mountain. There's the mountain stance and the flowing breeze stance. And depending on which stance, you have different modifications on your features. Way of the Mist. So I'm thinking mountains here still. We do have some mountain ranges in the common lands. And so Misty Strike and Illusionary Scream. You've got it's a hidden attack kind of a thing, or a disguised attack. Sneak up and wham them. Yeah, have some fun with that. Way of the Raven's Flight is actually a flighted subclass. On Raven's wings, you can fly. You may fly. But how does a raven attack? A raven attacks by pecking at things. So how about eye peck? Now, you're not going to actually peck out your enemy's eyes, although that would be fun, because blindness is a condition and is temporary. But you can psychically or magically peck out their eyes, and then their blindness lasts for a number of rounds. We gotta pay a passing glance to basic game mechanics here, although it would be fun to peck out their eyes. Okay, to the Paladins. The Oath of Divine Fire. Let your heart be your guide. Live on the edge. Ecstasy is divine. Come on, Paladins are fighters with a huge ego complex. We all know this. And so you may as well be on fire, baby. And of course, this is part of Sukar, my father god of fire. The Oath of Passion. This is where Belmaine comes in, my goddess of passion and chaos. When you are following the tenets of the Oath of Passion, you want to attract all eyes. And if at first you don't succeed, you'll do a little bit more than just try again. These guys are out in front, and they make everybody look at them. How gorgeous am I? I'm too sexy for my armor. Too sexy for yeah, work with me on the concept, right? But while you're out there being Mr. Hotshot A1, your allies can sneak up on your enemies, and there we go. The Oath of Ambition is dedicated to the King of Shadows, because the king wants the best. And so when you follow the tenets of ambition, you are always accomplishing something. You never, ever run or reel. You always accept a challenge, and you must always be splendid, because the king keeps an eye on his paladins. Rangers are one of my personal favorite subclasses. And mind you, I'm an old school gamer from the 80s here, so I always liked playing a ranger. Both of my rangers are aligned with the world below. And they have something called convergent awareness. A convergence is an opening, a rift, if you will, in the ether, where the living world and the world of spirit meet. And so if there is a convergence anywhere within 1 mile, actually, a realm ranger will know about it. There are two kinds. There are spirit keepers, and they have a very easy time talking to spirits. They can command spirits. Here you roll a d12, and one of these subclasses will come up and help you from the ether realm, from the world below. Realm Striders are also quite fun because it's easy to get into the realm. You die. Getting out, now that's the hard problem. So a Realm Strider can actually open up a convergence, or at least know where one is, and guide the party into the world below, but more importantly, get everybody back out again, safe and sound. So evil DMs out there, if you are planning to kill your party and have them experience the Ether Realm, maybe the Realm Strider can avoid the killing part, and you can still experience the Ether Realm. Realm Companions, and here we have Realm Companions, they're the spirit companions that a ranger might normally get. And but I shifted up the type because Realm Companions are not physical, they are metaphysical. They move at 1.5 speed, and they do more damage. So you rank up. You get a small, a medium, or a large companion, and a small one is a dog or an eagle or an octopus, because who doesn't want a realm octopus, right? And then a medium one might be a black bear or a boar, giant badger, reef shark. It would be a very nice one. And then large ones, a brown elk, a giant eagle. Hey, how about a stingray? DM dumps you in the middle of the ocean. Hey, let me get my stingray, and you all swim to shore. Rogues. Shadeblades. Well, the King of Shadows certainly gets around. He has a paladin order. Why shouldn't he inspire rogues? The paladins are his enforcers. The rogues are his spies. So when you are a Shadeblade, the king teaches you some cool tricks. So we've got Shadowy Advantage. Whenever you step into a shadow that covers at least half of your body, you gain advantage on your attacks, and then your sneak attack gains the effect of Grasp of Decay. Now that's one of the homebrew spells that's here in the gaming guide. Spectral Blades, the King of Shadows, teaches you how to use the spell. Phantasmal Daggers, which is another one in the Scrolls of Imari, which is the grimoire here in the gaming guide. Grace of the Shadow Stalker. Here you gain access to a shadow point. Now, you can use a shadow point once per round as a bonus action to do these 3 following actions, and then your shadow points recharge after a long rest. Petrifying Presence. So, sorry. It's fun to be melodramatic, isn't it? Come on, these are rogues. You can actually scare the wits out of your enemies. They suffer 4d12 psychic damage and become frightened of you when they fail their saving throw. Dartalist, however, is one of my personal favorites. This was the creation I had a great time with. At 3rd level, you get a bandolier of 12 hollow-tipped darts. And, of course, you can fill the darts with all sorts of tinctures and whatnot. You are also a convergent adept. You get a talisman of convergence, and you can open your own portal into the Ether Realm and go get metaphysical ingredients to make your tinctures. Then you get a second bandolier, and then at higher levels, what you can do is you can throw your darts with such accuracy that they're like acupuncture needles, and you can stun enemies or cause paralysis or even unconsciousness. The Barroom Tactician is my take on the fighter subclass, the Barroom Brawler, but I wanted to make that character into a rogue, not a fighter. And Ballroom Blitz here is an awful lot of fun because it allows you, when you have to roll for strength, you can use your Dex mod instead. Now, let's say you're a small character like a hobbit. You might not have a lot of strength, but if you're 17th level, you can use your dex modifier, and then picking up a big heavy thing is not a problem now, is it? Sorcerer. Okay. I also think sorcerers never get quite enough love in D&D. Just my own personal opinion. Realm Touched is a lot like the main character in my stories, where she was blessed at birth by the ether of the Ether Realm. And these sorcerers do that as well. So they cross over quite a bit with spirits with the Ether Realm. The Star Hearts are dedicated again to Imari, my mother goddess of water, wind. And what's neat here is starry vision. You gain dark vision, then it improves. Then eventually, when you rank up, that starry vision not only becomes dark vision to 120 feet, it also becomes true sight. So it'll rank up as you rank up. And then the Soulfire Sorcerers, and back to Sukar, the father god of fire. Sukar will slum it with the mortals and come down for raging parties where you have a lot of free love going on. So of course he's sired a sorcerer bloodline. One of the neat things here, Hearts Ablaze, you can pull your own beating heart out of your chest, set it on fire, and throw it at enemies, and then reclaim it. Have fun with that in battle. The Warlocks, there's only one patron in my world who could possibly be the proper patron for Warlocks, and that's the King of Shadows. The King of Shadows wants the best. He's impetuous. He wants it now. He's a control freak. And if that doesn't say Warlock, I don't know what is. I created a new pact, the Pact of the Shadows. There's a pact boon option here. And there are two kinds of Warlocks. There's the Soul Conqueror, which lets you really grab hold of other characters' souls, soul swap. You go here, you go here. That'd be really fun to use, swapping two creatures' souls. Talk about Freaky Friday in D&D, right? And then the Command Master, who is such a control freak. Mind brand, upon thy knees. Multi-word commands. So instead of just your command spell being a single word, it can be 3 small words. And of course, all the Eldritch invocations, because we want to give you something fun to play with. And then finally, the Wizards. And if you've stayed with me this long, thank you. But I hope you're having some fun. School of the Realm, which of course is going to balance with the Ether Realm, where you interact, again, a lot with spirits. School of Dream Thievery. Now this is dedicated to my goddess of sleep and dreams, whose name is Ilyana. I mentioned her at the beginning. And Ilyana will lift dreams for mortals and fashion them into dream tiers. And so she teaches you tiercraft, so you can make dream tiers, which is super cool. And then finally, the School of Shadowmancy. So what a necromancer can do with the undead, a shadowmancer can do with shadows. And there's a lot that you can do with the shadows. There's umbral armament, blade of darkness, shadowed veil. At one point you can even capture your enemies in a shadow and either crush or suffocate them. So it gives you quite a bit to work with. So everybody, that is, I'm going to go back to page 1 now, and that will be our cover. This is Realms of the Ravensdaughter. You can get this, it's in print, you can get this at my website, ehrbooks.com. You can also order it from Amazon. This took a year and a half and a couple dedicated DMs helping me edit, and it's a labor of love, but it is good. So in other videos, I'll go over some of the spells with you, and then we get to do magical items and monsters and races and NPCs, and there we go. So this is Erin from EHR Books, and I will see you in the next video.